Okay, be honest. How many of you guys thought this was an April Fool's joke? An edition, April Fool's edition of YouTube Live, Everything Phoenix here on a Monday, and it is April Fool's Day, and it is not a joke. I should probably play a joke on you guys. That'd be pretty funny, but I am not going to do that. The headline is correct, guys. Flying cars are just around the corner, just around the corner in the US, or maybe just Arizona, or maybe just not quite around the corner just quite yet, but coming soon. Soon is subjective. We'll see what that looks like, guys. I'm going to jump in on this. I had to put this as the headline because this is true. This is not an April Fool's joke, and there are people that are in the process in the legislature here in Arizona of trying to be the forefront of flying car. Can't even say this with a straight face. Flying cars in America, guys. You saw the Jetsons. You saw Star Wars, Star Trek. I don't know if we're going to be at that level anytime soon, but there is a proposal of certain legislation to have cars fly in America, and the proving grounds might just be Arizona. Can you believe that? Well, we're going to cover that here and some other things, guys, that are really cool things happening, guys. The Final Four basketball, NCAA March Madness is coming to an end here in about a week, and this weekend we have the Final Four located right here in Phoenix. That is going to be a blast, and there's some other development too going on that we're going to talk about. The housing market, where do we stand right now? What's going on with inventory? What's going on with new home construction? You know, this video actually could have been just about new home construction because that is the hot topic right now in real estate here in the Phoenix area. But we're going to obviously sprinkle that in with some other things to make sure your time is not wasted here in the 20 to 30 minutes we're going to spend here together on this April Fool's edition of Everything Phoenix YouTube Live. So without any more fooling around, let's jump right in. Oh, but wait, we have somebody that's going to make a comment here. This might be good. Go Hawkeyes. Also, you got me with the flying cars. Thought it was fake news. Hashtag fake news, right? No, Abby, it is real news. Go Hawkeyes. Oh, you're talking women's basketball. Well, that's big too. Don't get me wrong. By the way, guys, I heard that the game tonight between LSU and Iowa might be the most watched. Well, they're anticipating it to be the most watched women's college basketball game of all time. So maybe dial in on that here tonight. It is the Final Four for women's as well. All right. And you have the Final Four for men's coming up this weekend. So a lot going on. And the cool thing about the men's part is that it's in Phoenix, right? I'm not sure the Final Four is actually for the women's side, but it's not in Phoenix. So all we care about right now is Phoenix because that's what the show is about. So let's jump right in. Let's go rock and roll here. Let's start with the little housing market. Actually, let's not. Let's go right to flying cars. I mean, what are we doing here, right? Flying cars. Here we go. The headline from the Phoenix Business Journal, a very reputable source here, at least locally, is Arizona may soon be a launch pad for flying cars and a pioneer for regulating them. What? That's right. There is a rendering of maybe what it looks like. Could have 4 wheels, could have 3 wheels. They said that they may actually be more like motorcycles because they may only have 3 wheels, but this one has 4. In a bold move, Arizona is crafting legislation to pave the way for flying cars. All right, so we got to read some more about this. This just came out today, and maybe I'm getting played the April Fool's joke. I don't know. Maybe this is all just a bunch of hogwash, but we know it's coming at some point in the future because the Jetsons said so. So here we go. In the heart of the desert, Arizona is not just witnessing the future, it is legislating it. As a personal injury attorney with decades under my belt, I've had a front row seat to the leading edge technology found in Arizona's cars. And he's talking about Waymo. That's primarily the self-driving taxi cars, which is a little while, guys. I am not getting in Waymo anytime soon. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I can't sit there and watch nobody drive me around town. Would you? Have you? If you haven't been to Arizona, maybe Waymo is in other parts of the country, not just in Phoenix, but we definitely have self-driving taxis and Ubers, whatever you want to call it, right? But I can't do it. I cannot do it. If I see a car roll up to pick me up and nobody's driving it, not getting it. Not going to do it. Not a chance. Would you? I just want to know. Comment below and let us know whether you're watching the replay or live. Would you actually do that? Because no way. Not doing it. That is weird to me, and I'm just not doing it. I got problems. I don't know. I'm not doing it. But here we go. I digress. Let's go back to the article. Okay, here we go. Today, I'm looking at quite literally to the skies where flying cars are transitioning from the pages of science fiction, i.e., Star Wars. I know Star Wars is not totally real. I know. Sorry. To the halls of the Arizona legislature. By the way, I love Star Wars. Don't get me wrong. I love it, but yes, it's science fiction. Okay, here we go. Launch pad for flying cars, Arizona. In a bold move, Arizona is crafting legislation to pave the way for flying cars. David Farnsworth is the senator, and this initiative is not just about embracing futuristic travel, but shaping it. He says, he goes on to say, it will allow the owner of a roadable aircraft to get both a license to drive the vehicle on the street, then soar it into the air. I don't see any issues that could happen with this. I mean, what could go wrong, right? Up to 12,000 feet in the air at 160 miles per hour. The proposal aims to streamline registration, treating these vehicles more like motorcycles due to their three-wheel design. It's a pragmatic approach to an unconventional challenge, embodying the spirit of innovation that defines our state. So this might be more about a senator just trying to get his name in the paper. I don't know. But this is a little crazy, right? This effort in Arizona represents more than a step toward creating laws and a regulatory system for flying cars. It's the harbinger of the legal complexities that accompany these roadable aircraft. As they emerge onto our roads and to our skies, we'll be tasked with rethinking, everything from traffic laws to liability and insurance. It's uncharted territory ripe with potential and pitfalls. Okay, then it goes on to talk about Waymo, right? Waymo is the self-driving cars that are all over the place here in Phoenix. And does your city have self-driving cars? I mean, I'd love to know. That's crazy. And so on and so forth. But wow, pretty crazy what's going on here. And I just can't get over that picture. That is, that's wild. All right, guys. So again, would you get in one of these self-driving cars? Like if it was available today, would you hop one of those? If you're late for a meeting, you can just, do that thing. I don't know. What could go wrong? No clue. I'm sure nothing could go wrong, guys. I mean, helicopters, other commercial aircraft in the sky, private jets. I don't know. And you have mom and pa now up in the air flying a jet around or a car. Yeah. But I guess it's going to come at some point, right? So why not Arizona be the spearhead for all this, right? That's what the senator is at least thinking. So he's going to try to get a little bit of profit off that, I'm sure, some way, somehow. But we'll see. All right, let's go back to the housing market and talk about it, guys. So we're talking about the housing market and what's going on with new construction, because new construction is huge in Phoenix. Why? Because we have a lot of demand still coming to Phoenix. Now, obviously, demand is down, guys. Demand is down compared to where it has been in the future in Phoenix and across most of America. But we still have more demand than most across the country. For a lot of the reasons, for the reasons of job creation, really good job creation market right now in the Phoenix economy, the Arizona economy overall. And of course, the weather is just phenomenal most of the year. Again, I joke around all the times. We have two seasons, guys. If you haven't heard me say this, two seasons. We have hot and awesomeness. That's it. We don't have fall, winter, spring. We don't need that nonsense, right? We just have hot and awesomeness. And so we are in the awesomeness season in Arizona. And so if you have not come down to experience Arizona between October and May, I highly encourage you to do so because it is awesome. Sunny and warm for the most part. There are some rainy days. Don't get me wrong. It does rain in the Sonora Desert. That's how we're able to have some form of plant life and tree life in our saguaro cactuses, right? That have arms that are only found, by the way, in the Sonoran Desert, which is only in Arizona. Fun fact. All right, let's jump back over to the housing market. Here we go. New home sales year-to-date record. Transaction volumes have been low for many months in the resale segment of the housing market. However, the same cannot be said for the new home segment. During the first 2 months of 2024, new home builders closed a total of 3,351 homes in Maricopa and Pinal counties. And what does that mean? Well, here's the comparison. You can see this graph right here, which they have nicely put together for us. You can see back in 2011, the market was beat down, right? And then 2012, 2013, it came out of the recession, the Great Recession. And then it started ramping up the entire way through 2020 until the COVID hit, which obviously everyone knows what that is. And then it kind of backed off. And now that COVID is done or got through the whole pandemic aspect of it, we were behind. we stopped building down here in Phoenix, and now we are trying to ramp it back up. And with that comes demand. With that comes home prices continuing to increase, at least in the new home segment. But what does that mean for the resale market? I'm glad you asked. We're going to get to that in a second here, but let's read a little bit more commentary. We will not go through this whole thing, but here we go. New homes are very competitive on price. It might surprise you to learn that the average price per square foot for a new home across the two main counties was $269. Okay, $269 in February 2024, which is far below the resale average of $298. Now, guys, a lot of this average is coming across to be different, right? Because a lot of new home construction is smaller construction. There's not a lot of luxury spec homes going on. Now, there's some, don't get me wrong, and there's a lot of luxury custom homes being built too. But compared to the tract home subdivisions that are and these homes that are 1,600 square feet, 1,800, 2,200 square feet, it doesn't compare, right? So by nature of the size of the home, you're going to have new home construction be far less than resale home. But right now, new home construction is increasing dramatically more than resale construction is increasing here in the Phoenix area. Let's dive into more, okay? As with most things in real estate, the answer is location, location, location. It is the one thing you cannot change about real property, okay? And then all of these numbers from the Crawford Public site come from the MLS and of course public record, because home sales sometimes don't hit the MLS, right? So this is interesting. We can see the trend right there, and it's going back up. And guys, we need this because right now we are behind in new home construction being built around Phoenix, which is kind of crazy to think because right now everywhere you look, you see new homes coming up everywhere. So on the outskirts primarily, okay? So some people just don't want to be on the outskirts, and so they're not willing to trade the location for the actual price that they could have on a house. So a lot of people in this situation will go to a resale home in that scenario. Okay. Now let's go back. I'm going to read you one more headline on this, which is interesting. And that's this right here at the bottom of the screen. This is the highest total since '06 and is up almost 16% from last year. New homes are taking a lot of the demand away from resales. This is particularly true in Pinal County, which is up 32%, which is in the southeast part of the valley. Okay. New home closings are up just 10% in Maricopa County. Resale closings are down 0.4% compared to the first 2 months of 2023. New homes up 10% in terms of closings, not value, and resale down 0.4. Okay. Very interesting. Now let's keep it going here and let's keep talking about the housing market. Here's the Case-Shiller Home Price Index right here. Okay. They're just published on Tuesday for the last 2 to 3 months of data is what it comes out to be, trailing or lagging behind. But what you can see is that right now, Phoenix is negative 0.5 for the index over the past year or so. But right here, this is interesting. Phoenix has dropped from 12th to 16th place since last month. The national average increase month to month was 0.1. So Phoenix fell below that standard. Compared year over year, however, comparing year over year, we see the following changes. Here we go. Phoenix plus 4.6, plus 4.6. Values are up 4.6% year over year from March to March in the Case-Shiller Index. Phoenix remained in the 14th place once again and is still in the bottom half of the year over year basis. All 20 cities are now showing positive price movement for 1 year ago. So guys, what's interesting here is there's a lot of talk about home affordability or lack thereof in Phoenix primarily, and that is true to an extent. But you would think the way people talk about it, Phoenix is the most expensive city in the nation, and it's just not even remotely close. And we're not talking about like traditionally speaking, we're talking about year over year right now, what's going up the most. And you can see by this article right here that San Diego up 11.2%. So California is already expensive, and now it's getting worse. Los Angeles up 8.6%. 8.6, guys, in year over year values. Detroit, this is good. This makes sense, right? Up 8.2%. Charlotte, 8.1. Chicago, 8 points. What? Chicago. Everyone's leaving. Well, everyone has left California, Chicago, and New York, but they're all in the top 6. Why might that be? It primarily is because they're so beaten down over the past 3 years from COVID, et cetera, of the great migration, so to speak, that now they are starting to go in the opposite direction, which makes sense to an extent, right? It makes sense to an extent. These are the major areas across America. You can see Phoenix coming in at number 14 with a plus 4.6 increase in valuation of prices of homes. Okay, now let's keep the housing market trend or conversation rolling. Here we go. Price trends, buyer demand make one particular week the best time to list a house. Guys, did you know if you're thinking of selling a house, the best week to do so, according to all the data points combined, is coming up in 3 weeks. So spoiler alert right there. It is in April, and it is between April 14th and 20th. There you go. So if you want to try to time this thing perfectly, you better get on it to get the house ready to go. Get it staged appropriately, get the right media, the photos, the video ready to go, because in April, it's coming around as being the time to do it. Now, that being said, it takes a little bit of time to produce high quality and really good aerial photography, as well as drone video and just a walkthrough, a cinematic walkthrough of a video. So if you're in Phoenix and you want a cinematic experience with a cinematic walkthrough of your house that's high energy, go to our YouTube channel, Everything Phoenix, and check out a couple of our videos. And we'd love to do one for your house as well. Now, if you don't live in Phoenix and you're out of state thinking about possibly selling, we have a couple of partners. Well, actually, a lot more than a couple. We have a nationwide network of real broker agents that actually do an amazing job with video, like I tried to do as well, that can get you that cinematic walkthrough experience in your city, across America, and even in 4 provinces in Canada. So let me know if we can help you, put you in touch with an amazing agent in your city. All right, back to the screen. This is good stuff. Back to the screen here, guys. We're going to get going on the rest of this article because there are some data points right here. Here we go. They break down the data as to why this is the best time. Above average prices. Homes listed during that week in April tend to be listed for more than houses during other times. Typically 10.4% higher than the start of the year in January. That's good. More buyer demand. There are more buyers looking at homes during the time. There are 22.8% more views on Realtor.com that week. A faster time to sell, less competition, and fewer price reduction. All 5 data points that are really good if you want to have a successful home sell. Now, we try to reproduce this for all of our clients, no matter what time of year it is, but the data is the data, and this would be the best time for most places across the country if you're looking to sell. This is no secret, because we all know that April, May, heading into June is a good time. Schools getting ready to be out, people looking to make a move for schools or to get that done before they maybe go on their summer vacation in July, and all of that good stuff. Okay, now we're going to jump back over here and talk about more of the market. Phoenix metro home prices dipped to start the year, but experts say current conditions are more robust. This is that pent-up demand that we're talking about, guys. These experts are real estate people talking about what the pent-up demand might look like here in just a few months. Guys, let's talk about this real quick. Did we know? I said it before, that in Las Vegas, there are odds on when the Federal Reserve will reduce the potential interest rates coming up in 2023. Now, there is a 97% chance, or might be 98 actually, that the Fed is going to reduce the federal funds rate, the overnight borrowing rate between banks, by 25 basis points, right? There we go. It's a quarter point in June. Now, if that happens, that's going to get some people off the fence. No doubt about it. That will have a positive indirect result on the 30-year mortgage, and borrowing costs will potentially go down. Now, if that happens, you're going to see most likely buyer demand come off the fence. And do we know that for every 1 percentage point, now this is probably not going to happen come June, but if the 30-year fix actually somehow goes down 1 percentage point from 7 to 6 or whatever it is today to then, that the experts say that there are 5 million home buyers waiting to get off the fence and jump into the game to buy a house across America. So that is a lot of demand pent up, ready to go. So these experts are talking about in this article that with Phoenix home prices, you're looking at them most likely increasing, which is going along the lines of what everyone else is saying, economists, etc., for Phoenix in this year. Now, I've had people on social media bash me when I say, guys, the data, I mean, just simple supply and demand says that prices will not be coming down in 2024. Other people go on and say, you're crazy out of your mind. You're just trying to sell houses because you're a realtor. And that's easy to pinpoint and say, I guess, as point your finger. But then I simply reply and say, interesting. I love your take. Show me the data that would tell me, and anyone else for that matter, that home prices will be coming down in 2024. I don't want to hear about 25 or 26. I didn't say that. But in 24, I'm making that prediction. I made it from January that I'm going to see, my prediction, for what it's worth, we're going to see between 6 to 8% of home appreciation by the time it's all said and done at the end of 2024. And that's going to be potentially with rates being at 7 or maybe as low as 6. I'm not predicting prices or rates are going to come down in the 4s or 5s even. But I think even with that being said, we're looking at that. Why? Because it's simple supply and demand economics 101, right? That's what it is. And so until I can be proven or I can see data that says otherwise, that's where I'm going to stand on my prediction. So I think you have a window here, guys, a window of being able to, before potential more demand jumps off the fence because, everyone zags for the most part, but you should be zigging when everyone else is going to zag after this potential rate drop in June. Just saying, okay? So let's go back to my screen here, and you're going to see that we have another real estate article that's interesting, guys. The upper crust, people who are renting, but want to have luxurious rental accommodations, they're seeing a pinch on their wallet because maybe it doesn't matter because they have maybe the funds to do so, but it's still an increase of value. Now, this is a beautiful photo, by the way, of the apartments at Optima Kierland, which are currently going for $4.94 a foot. Okay, so I'm not a mathematician, guys, but if you have 1,000 square foot apartment, that means you're paying $4,940 for that rent. That's a beautiful photo, guys, but this is interesting. This is we're gonna go over a couple things, guys, on this. By the way, we're gonna talk about the top 3 most expensive places to rent in all of Phoenix. But 5 years ago, 1-bedroom apartment in the Broadstone Scottsdale quarter, which was Phoenix's most expensive luxury apartment complex at the time, was going for as much as $26.35 a month. Okay. Now that same 1-bedroom rent is as high as $4,300 per month at the Valley's most expensive luxury apartment complex to date, which is the Optima Kierland, ranked number 24, and the last property on the list. The Griffin rental rates were as high as $27.26 or $91 per month, more expensive than the 2019 champ of the Broadstone Scottsdale quarter. Guys, that is expensive real estate, expensive to rent if you want that luxury accommodation. Okay, but you're looking at right now $494 a square foot at the Optima Kierland. Now, where is that? Let's jump down here and let's talk about the top 3. Optima Kierland is number 1, Sultra Kierland number 2, Optima Sonoran Village. So you're seeing some common denominators here between Optima and Kierland and the Scottsdale quarter, etc. But let's just jump in the map here and look. So right here you have the Westin Kierland Resort. If I just jump out a little bit, right here, there it is. Now this is all the Kierland Scottsdale corridor area over here on both sides of Scottsdale Road. Scottsdale Road just jumps down the middle of this. Okay, and so you see Sultra Kierland right here. Okay, you can zoom in a little bit more. Right there, you see Optima Kierland right here. And then you have the most expensive rent right here, 1 and 2, right in the Kierland area. Now, over here at the Scottsdale quarter, there are some apartments as well, and these are not cheap either. These are expensive. And so you have some rent right down here, right here, that are very expensive. And you have the Landmark over here. These are not for rent. These are for sale. That's very expensive real estate too. But you have some amazing golf course views. And so they take advantage of that. And then over here, you have, by the way, just while we're at it, you have, this is the old Cracker Jacks driving range and go-kart area, putt-putt golf, all being taken down to build the park, QE, P-A-Q-E. It's French. I know, it's French. Which is going to have like a miniature Central Park, New York City vibe in the middle of it with a bunch of living and business space on the outside, commercial space. So pretty crazy, right? Now, the other one, Optima Sonoran Village, is right here. This is in Old Town. So right now you have Old Town right here. Then you have Optima Sonoran Village right there. So we zoom in. It's just on the west side of Old Town Scottsdale, very close to Arcadia, which is right here. Okay. So that's the most expensive real estate when it comes to renting in all of Phoenix. Crazy, right? How much money that is going for. Wow. Pretty crazy. All right. So we have a couple of comments here. Running at altitude. Thank you for joining and listening again. I really appreciate the support. Blizzard conditions in North Scottsdale. Crazy. I know. Now, that's Easter was rainy. Now, I heard a stat that we haven't had rain, I think, on Easter in Phoenix in 60 years, 60-something years, okay? Been a long time. We had a rain yesterday, and it was a little chilly. And there was some snow on the mountains in North Scottsdale. When you say North Scottsdale, we're talking North Scottsdale up on the top of the mountains. And then it's gone like in 2 hours. I kind of wish it would stick around sometimes. It's kind of cool to see some white stuff on the mountains in the desert, but it does happen a couple times a year now, more than ever. So yeah, we had some of that, and it's always cool to see that. Lori, what's up, Lori? What would be the first step to maybe purchase this year? Good question. This is a question we get actually a lot on the sidebar, not live necessarily, but a good step would be, I think there's this window today that you have a good step between now and June, especially because as sellers get more confidence in the marketplace, because they think the Fed's reducing rates and people are going to jump into the marketplace, they're going to be less apt to negotiate with you. You have less leverage as a buyer. And here's the deal, guys. Right now, when I say leverage, I don't mean you're going to get some crazy deal on the price necessarily, but you do have the ability to really get your terms, especially if you have a skilled agent helping you who actually does this for many, many years and knows how to negotiate and has relationships with other listing agents like myself and my team members. Okay. So I think you have a good window right now where you could dictate a mortgage rate buy down to help you get a more comfortable mortgage payment for the first 3 years, 2 years, or 1 year before it resets to your fully indexed approved rate, which is right now is hovering around 10%. Or I'm sorry, 10%. No, 7%. Sorry about that. And just to make sure you know I'm not crazy, here's the rates right now. 7.05 on 30-year fixed right now, okay? 7.05. So if you are at 7, doing a 3-2-1 buy down, you might be at 4 in the first year. And then you're at 5% in year 2, 6% in year 3, and then back up to your fully indexed approved rate of 7% for the next 27, 26 years of your 30-year fixed mortgage. But if you believe that rates might come down a decent amount, that's subjective, clearly, then maybe you can refinance at some point or between now and the next 3 years. So the cool thing about this is the seller, if you negotiate this correctly, the seller will pay for that buy down for you so that you don't have to come out of pocket to get some sort of crazy rate like this, okay? That's valuable. And if you go to refinance before that 3 or 2 years is up, you get part of that credit prorated and credited back to you for your refinance when that time comes. So essentially that refinance hopefully can be free, and then maybe you even have some extra money left over to maybe do a discount point to get your rate even lower potentially for the next 30 years. So that's something you guys can do, guys. So I think that there's some value to that, because I think when buyers come off the fence, sellers get more confidence because of a rate drop of any type later on this year. Then you're going to see it being a lot more difficult to negotiate those type of terms in a contract. That's my 2 cents on it. So I think there's a window right now between now and then that you really have the ability to dictate your terms, although prices aren't going to probably move a whole lot over that time period. So your win looks like getting the terms you want with potentially a rate buy down that the seller pays for from that standpoint. So that's my thoughts. Great question, Lori. Thank you for asking that question. Okay, back to share my screen. Got a few more things to cover because we always have some development things going on. We're going to hit that right now. Here we go. Frontier Airlines, not development, but news. Frontier Airlines and Breeze Airlines add new flights from Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport, guys. Frontier is the fastest growing airline in Sky Harbor, and they have a lot of Southwest and American Airlines as the hub to compete with, but they are adding more and more flights. They're going to Cabo in Mexico twice a week now, nonstop from Phoenix. That's cool. And they're going to Missoula, Montana as well. And then you have Breeze Airway, which is another low-cost airline that is doing a nonstop service twice a week to Norfolk, Virginia. Any military personnel, Navy personnel, that's going to be a big one for them, okay? Next one, Amazon, guys. Amazon continues to double down on the Phoenix economy, and I love it because it's going to bring more and more jobs to Phoenix. Guys, Amazon has just leased out another 1.2 million square feet, in Buckeye here. There's a picture of it, of industrial space, and that's going to bring another 1,500 jobs to the Phoenix area. That is awesome. Thank you for Amazon for continuing to double down on the Phoenix area. And Lucid Motors, who has their manufacturing plant located in Casa Grande, which is on the outskirts, on the south side of Phoenix, on the outskirts of the very south side, almost halfway to Tucson, to be honest with you. They are not doing great, but they have just received $1 billion with a B dollars of cash infusion from the Saudis, their public investment fund, PIF, which also supports the the golf tournament. All right, the golf tournament, the LIV golf tournament. Thank you very much. as well. They just have more money they know what to do with, apparently, and they are now owning 60% of Lucid, which can be good or bad. I don't know, but they are big time investors in Lucid Motors, which has the manufacturing plant in Casa Grande, which is a huge operation down there. So that's good for Arizona in terms of cranking out more jobs. Lucid is also going to be offering more than just one type of car as well now to offset. They have a crossover coming out here shortly to offset, hopefully, the demand that Tesla continues to create in their electric vehicle market. Okay. And then this is kind of cool, guys. Obviously, there's a lot going on in the Middle East right now, Israel, etc., and of course, Ukraine and Russia. And just to know that our technology continues to be at the forefront of the best in the world when it comes to military technology. And we just launched a missile defense that is shooting down ballistic missiles, and it was successful in the Pacific Ocean. It shot down a ballistic missile somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. I don't know, around Hawaii, and that was good. So Raytheon is a Tucson-based company, so the Arizona economy continues to benefit from that. And the defense contracts they are signing with the Department of Defense is bananas. I'm talking so much money. If you go through this article, it is $1.2 billion there for that. And it's insane. As well as Germany. There's a contract for Germany for some of their stuff too as well when it comes to the Patriot missile defense. But hopefully we're not selling our brand new technology. We have a chance to use that for a while on the world stage if we have to. Let's hope on that one. And then last but not least, guys, we're going to end with this one because this is cool. This is awesome. The Final Four. We have the 4 teams of Alabama. We have the underdog of NC State. We have the juggernauts of UConn and Purdue that are all meeting for the Final Four here in Phoenix this weekend. There's the crews getting the floor ready. I can't wait. I'm going to try to go to it because it's been a bucket list thing for me for my entire life. And it's right here. So I don't have to worry about flights and hotel. And that's going to be on the agenda, hopefully, if I can pull that off. But if you're coming in town for the Final Four, please hit me up on social media. Send me a DM. And let's meet up and shake hands when we're out there at Glendale if I have a chance to go, hopefully, right? But it's going to be awesome. It's going to bring a lot of money into the local Phoenix economy here, playing where the Arizona Cardinals play at State Farm Stadium in the Glendale Westgate area. Okay? So very, very cool. And looking forward to that. There's the game day is going to be there, of course, and the whole 9 yards. This is going to be awesome. So kudos to Phoenix and all the teams that made it to the Final Four for the NCAA tournament. All right, guys, I really appreciate your time. I don't take it lightly. Thank you so much. And guys, click below in our description here if you want a relocation guide, a buyer guide, or a seller guide for any other questions or any further elaboration that you would like for anything when it comes to real estate related, buying, selling, investing in real estate. Click the links below in our description, and it will be emailed directly to you as soon as you fill out your email. And always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to YouTube Live. Until next time, Phoenix, keep it classy. We'll see you next week.